Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2018 Career Mode. Today we are here for the Chinese Grand Prix, round number 3 of the season. And if you guys did miss the last race for the Bahrain Grand Prix, then do check out that video by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. It was a very decent race considering the AI's strong pace around there, and also it's probably the start of our season because Australia was not so good. So if you have missed any of the episodes, there's a full playlist link down below in the description as well. And pretty much if you want to get up to speed, or if not, you want to just start off right now in season 5. We're only 2 races in, so if you want to check it out, now's your chance before we get too far into the series. But we are here in China, round 3 of the season, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's going to be the first real chance of scoring some decent points this weekend because China has been a strong track for me in this year's game. Then we've got Baku after, which is, again is another AI strong track, so it's important that we do well here today and really score some decent points to kind of get our season, you know, pretty much off the ground, to be honest with you, because Bahrain's only a couple of points, so we need to do well here and score a big tally of points. But with that being said, we're going to jump straight into it here for China, and hopefully we can have a positive weekend, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'd like to go for the race win. I mean, that's the target. We've got pace around here, I think. You know, we should be competitive, and fingers crossed it all goes according to plan. But with that being said, let's just jump into it. Right, so first of all, we look at the laptop, and straight away we've got heavy rain in qualifying, which is going to be a massive curveball for the race weekend. Along with that, we do have an upgrade on the car this weekend for the durability, in this case the control electronics. Hopefully we can get a few more of those on the car in this first half of the season, and then we can start focusing on all-out performance. And as you can see at the moment, it seems like other teams around us might be doing the same thing, because for the second race in a row there's no upgrades, and it definitely looks like other teams might be improving reliability along with ourselves. So it's kind of a reliability race at the moment to try and see who can have the most reliable car, because there's been reliability issues already in the first 2 races, and generally it seems like teams are struggling. You know, for example, Vettel picking up that penalty in that first race in Australia. You know, it really goes to show that reliability is a big factor this season. But nonetheless, we move into Saturday qualifying here, and it's absolutely chucking it down. Monsoon conditions here. However, the weather is going to improve as the session goes on, especially towards the very end. So it's going to be important to be on the track at the last minute. But as you can see in the top right, I've got the FPS counter on screen. I do apologise for that for some reason. I don't know why it basically stayed inside the recording. Normally that doesn't pick up, so you're going to see it only for the qualifying part. Then for the race, that thing in the top right will vanish, so I apologise in advance for that. But nonetheless, we are here for Saturday qualifying here at the Shanghai circuit, and after practice I can tell you the pace was good. The only real concern here this weekend is going to be in the race tomorrow in the dry conditions and managing the tyre temperatures. It's the first time we've done this track since removing the tyre temperature mod, so it's going to be a real challenge to see if we can keep our tyres under control, especially the rears. But straight away we're going to go into qualifying. Now we went on the full wets with a little bit of fuel in the car, and basically the target is to just do a couple of laps and try and circulate and run at a decent pace and burn off the fuel whilst improving the lap time. So as you can see, we was fast in sector 1, then we lost a little bit of time through sector 2, and then just kind of getting the car through into the final sector as we come towards the final corner here and up to the line. Where we're going to go is going to be P8 on our first attempt. A couple of tenths off, we lost a bit of time in sector 3, but we're going to go again for another lap, and this one was actually really good. We was flying in the first sector, you can see there, by a big margin, and we really carried that speed through over the rest of the lap. Sector 2 as well, up by quite a bit as well, and we're doing a good progress here, purple middle sector. But then towards the end of this lap, I started to overheat my rear tyres, and especially for that banking, I really hurt my rears. You can see there now, through the final corner, we get wide and very loose through there, and you can see the rears were actually a little bit hot, especially the left rear, and ultimately that cost me my lap time. You can see my rears absolutely fried. So what I did was, I came in because that was a sign the track was starting to dry out, so we went into the intermediates, let some time pass, and pretty much we're going to go for 2 laps on the intermediate tyres here and hope for the best. So hopefully we can try and time it correctly and benefit from the track conditions. Straight away you can see lap times are dropping as Vettel goes fastest, and we're currently behind Magnussen, who just about gets out of the way finally midway through the lap, and we are still up and faster than Sebastian Vettel after 2 sectors on this lap. So we're looking good here to take first place if we keep it all together. And to be fair, it was much better on the inters, so temperatures were much more under control, and the car felt very good. As we now go out the final corner, up to the line, we do go P1, and we take provisional pole. We're now going to run on board for this entire lap, as this was my best lap and my last lap in the qualifying session. And through here, turn 1 and 2, it's all about keeping a nice tight line and also trying to carry as much speed as you can. Really open up turn 3, which is this left-hander, if you can, to really maximise the corner. Again, focus on your exit out of here to dictate how much straight line speed you'll have. I get a little bit of a snappy rear end, but we just about keep it under control, and we're on for a big improvement in sector 1 already as we slow it down just after the 100-metre ball down to second gear, first gear actually, to get the nose rotated as I run a little bit deep on the brakes, then on the power, smoothly out the corner, and now into the fast left-rights here through sector 2. This is all about good car control, good car setup, and hoping the car sticks and doesn't lose the back end. and also a lot of patience required to get the throttle down, and don't get too excited about it as we now go through a double apex left combination. This one as well, very tricky to get the power down through here. Patience is required, but we do a great job here, and we are up by quite a substantial margin, half a second pretty much on our previous best, as we now go into the final sector, keeping it nice and tight through here if possible, trying to keep out the car in one piece and making no mistakes. Now going through the banking and carrying the speed on the power as soon as possible, and they're actually going to go into overtake ERS here along the majority of the straight, because in wet conditions you can use more ERS deployment as Leclerc goes fastest here with a big lap. And now you're looking for your break point pretty much just before the 100-meter board, down to second gear, and then first to really get that nose in, pick up your apex. In the dry you can keep it in second, but in the wet you want to use first gear. And now you've only got one more corner to go here, half a second up. Can we find any more time and try and overtake and knock off Leclerc for top spots? We've run it up to the line, we are fast and we are going to do it. We go P1 momentarily, but then we drop down all the way to P14. Are you mental? Like, what the hell happened there? Literally, that in a 10-second clip is the time, the AI glitch, lap time glitch. You guys ask me, why don't I do a full qualifying? That is the reason why. I mean, look at that, 2.2 off the pace. Where the hell has that happened? I've not got no words for it. I'm going to make a video about this shortly after this. Now the video's gone live, and I'm going to talk to co-masters about it, because this is unacceptable in my opinion, and this is why I don't do the full qualifying. But nonetheless, it's P14 on the grid tomorrow. Hopefully we can turn it around in the dry conditions. It's time for the Chinese Grand Prix.
Ever since the Sauber of Felipe Massa passed Jenson Button into turn 1 at the very first Chinese Grand Prix in 2004, Shanghai has consistently provided close racing and extraordinary memories. It's where Lewis Hamilton effectively lost the title in his rookie year, and it's where Nico Rosberg claimed Mercedes' first win of the modern era in 2012. Shanghai International Circuit then, a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flat, open to the elements location tests their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and overtaking is available into turn 1 and of course down the kilometre-long back straight into the hairpin at turn 14. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Force India. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the sides haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Great work from Nico Hülkenberg yesterday sees him start on pole. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso and Ricciardo, Verstappen, Perez, Ocon and Lance Stroll, Sirotkin, Grosjean, Martinez and Hamilton, Ericsson, Vettel, Pierre Gasly and Brendan Hartley. Van Dorn and Kevin Magnussen rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right then, here we are on the grid for the Chinese Grand Prix. P13 promoted by a position after qualifying, and we move forward on to, I'd say, the slightly more cleaner line on the grid. But generally, let's see what happens. It's dry conditions here today, and we're going to try and go for the 1 stop, which should be a lot more powerful. If we have to switch to a 2, I'm going to try and be aggressive. But generally, the story of this race is tyre temperatures. I have to try and keep my rear tyres under control. The rears are starting to go pretty high in qualifying. You can see I've got some temperature issues in the wet and also in practice as well. So it's going to be about driving smooth. I know I've got pace around here, so in that regard, I can actually let off the pace a bit and try and go a little bit slower to keep my tyres, in the range. But having said that, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a tough race. We've got to keep our nose clean. Another poor start. Obviously, this time the glitch struck again, and unfortunately we got demoted. Otherwise, we would have been starting from pole position. So yeah, let's see what happens. Let's hope that the majority of people in front go for the 2-stop. If not, we're going to be in trouble, and therefore we're going to need to be aggressive on the first lap. So with that in mind, let's just jump into it here today. First of all, those strategy, you can see 1 stop with the softs onto the mediums, and then we have fuel 1 lap over the 28 lap target, and pretty much let's just see what happens. I'm looking to have a little bit of fun, but also be aggressive, and I want to score points once again. So with that being said, let's jump into it, and it's now time for round 3 for the Chinese Grand Prix. Let's go. Right, here we go. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here at Shanghai. Lights are on and they are off. And away we go. Great start off of the line. We get across to the inside line, which is important for this track. We're going to try and keep it nice and shallow into turn 1. A little bit of contact there with the Sauber of Marcus Ericsson. Down the inside though of Lance Stroll, multiple cars. And we're into the top 10. As we go into turn 3, around the outside, I'm trying to find some grip. Nowhere to be found though. The Force India side by side here. Look at this, Ocon and Perez, they both get a poor exit, and we're going to get the run on the pair of them. Down the inside of both of the Pink Panthers into turn 5. Good move, and we're into 8th place. What a start this has been from us in this race. Super aggressive. We've got the 2 Red Bulls here in front of us side by side, so let's try and cash in on that battle if we can. Verstappen just filtering in behind Ricciardo there, but both of those guys side by side. The Red Bull definitely faster this season. They found some pace compared to the tail end of last year, and they're back on top. But so far, great start. I think everyone's on soft compound tyres, so if we want to make something happen today, we need to do it on track. So with that in mind, it's important that we do make this one stop happen. But let's see, straight line speed, what we're doing. Let's have a look. Verstappen in front, overtake ERS along with Rich Mix engaged. Can we make anything happen? I don't think we can. I think Verstappen's a little bit too quick at the minute, so we're just going to settle in behind in the slipstream and try and make things happen. Oof, oof. Very, very close that one. A bit too close for comfort. Let's try and settle down a little bit and find our rhythm. Hulkenberg setting the pace out front with a 32.1. We do a 32.6. Still strong pace as DRS is now enabled. We've got battling going on up ahead here. I think it's for P3, so you never know. We're going to get very close to Verstappen here. Down the inside of Max Verstappen. Bit of an unexpected one, but he's going pretty slow. Right on the outside of turn 3. Do we have the traction? Yes, we do. A little bit of a snappy rear end, but we get the job done. And we are past Max Verstappen. Good stuff. Now up next is Daniel Ricciardo. Let's try and get past the Honey Badger if we can. We're making great progress here. I'm at the P7. I've definitely got good pace, so it's all about patience. It will all come to me. I've just got to manage my tyres. That's the main thing. Right, we're in a bit of a DRS train here, so we're kind of waiting and depending on the AI cars battling, to be honest, unless we can make a move of our own. But this time I'm not as close to Ricciardo as I was to Verstappen, so unfortunately we can't make it stick. So we're just going to have to hold on here and be patient. Patient part of the race, very important to stay composed. And now it's also critical that I don't overheat my tyres whilst in dirty air. Just made a few tweaks. I've got my brake bars to 58 to the front. I've switched my differential to 75 to try and balance it out a little bit more on the rears. And also I've put on an extra turn of front wing for the next stop. Taking a tip out of Limitless's playbook to try and basically take some pressure off the rear tyres in the next stint. Meanwhile here, Ricciardo's vulnerable. We're going to have a look here. Down the inside. Very close. Ricciardo leaving me just enough room. But you can't quite make it just yet. Hopefully we can find some traction here to get past Ricciardo if we can. Are we close enough? I don't think we are. We're going to go for it on the brakes, but oof, it's late. It's very late. I'm going to let Ricciardo have that one. I'm not going to try and make that one stick. No point. I'm going to kill my tyres. Here we go. Tactically, this is why I let Ricciardo go, because I'm going to get him here instead. I'm going to get the overspeed. Ricciardo won't have DRS on the McLaren, so this is it. Look at the speed difference. We're going to fly past the Red Bull. 350 k's almost as we get it all slowed down now. For the hairpin, there we go, job done. And we are into P6. Up next, Fernando Alonso. Got to be careful, my left rear is at 103. Got to be careful. I'm still managing it though, it's under control. I'm just trying to close this gap because Alonso is in that slipstream train, so it's kind of hard to really close down the gap. But the Renaults are starting to drop off the pace a little bit. Sainz and Hulkenberg, Leclerc's leading, so those Renaults are starting to become a little bit vulnerable here. And we've got Leclerc in the pit lane. I didn't realise Leclerc actually started on the ultra softs. So Leclerc in, so he's going to be on a 2-stop pretty much. I don't think he's going to be a factor in this race. There's no way he's doing 21 laps on mediums. So right now, this train of cars, you can see, is pretty much for the race win, unless Hulkenberg's on ultras as well. But pretty much we're all battling for the race win here. So we are right in the mix to win this race after starting from P13. This is awesome. The one thing you want to avoid around this circuit is sliding the car through any form of corner. If you slide once, you will lose the back end. And if you have any oversteer, I've been absolutely flawless so far. Trying to lean on my front tyres by throwing the car into corners and relying on the back end to stick. Again though, we can't quite get within Alonso's DRS. If I could push harder, I could, but I'm trying to also, you know, tactically push. I don't want to burn up my rears. That's kind of the thing here. As you can see, we're keeping it 103 in the left rear, and that's fine. So I don't really want to go above that. So it will come to me. There's no problem. I'm just taking my time. Just feels like the AI picked up the pace a little bit this lap. I'm only 2/10 off my personal best, but Alonso's really pulled away, and also the Red Bulls are starting to find some pace again. So we might have to step it up here. Not sure if I really can in terms of my tyre temperatures. We have to be very careful, but for sure the AI definitely, they've cranked it up a notch, so we need to respond. Okay, the left side of the tyres are going up to 104. Need to be careful, but I'm definitely managing it still. But we are closing down the gap a little bit now. We've responded. I'm on for a personal best. Let's try and bring this one home. Oof, see, that's what I want to avoid. Those little slip and slides. Need to avoid those if possible, but we do bring down the gap, and we are responding. I've picked up the pace again. I'm only a 10th off my PB, but I can't match. Gap is now over 2 seconds. I'm still in the mix though. I think my strategy is simple. When they come in, I'm going to try and overcut them and start one more lap and try and push and really kill these tyres off. As we saw in the last race in Bahrain, I'm no good on the cold rubber, so coming in the same lap as them is going to be a no benefit situation, so I need to try and stay a little bit longer. It doesn't help they're all kind of DRSing each other. It's kind of annoying. I can't do much about it. Alonso's just starting to drop back a little bit though. Still a strong lap from me there. 3/10 off my personal best. We're consistent, and that's all that matters. Alonso's dropped out of DRS now, dare I say, so he will start to become vulnerable now. I think he's just out of DRS unless Raikkonen and Sainz start to battle heavily, which they already are. And I think, yeah, Raikkonen's got past, so that's going to bring Alonso back into the fold. Okay, so this is scheduled pit stop time, or scheduled pit stop lap, should I say. I'm expecting everyone to come in, so we're going to stay in rich mix, and we're going to stay in hot lap mode on this overcut lap, and try and make it work. So let's see if this pays off. There we go, that Renault is in. Only 2 cars come in, which is quite interesting, but still, it's enough. Ricciardo comes in as well, so this is an important lap. We need to make it count. Here we go. This is a massive lap in the Grand Prix. Right then, here we go, strong lap. Very strong in lap. Into the pit lane. Just make sure we get it all sorted out. Nice and aggressive. All slowed down, there we go. That was beautiful, that was perfect. We brought ourselves right into play here. Nice quick stop, come on. I'm going to get held up by the Red Bull here. No, it's not great. We've been held up a little bit by Verstappen. That's annoying. Sainz has been held up by Raikkonen, so no position changes. But have we done enough? Let's wait and find out. Here comes Hulkenberg. And then here comes Alonso. So there you go. We ain't done enough. It's a strong outlap from both of those guys. So unfortunately, we're back where we were. However, we are closer. And Ricciardo's behind. And he's actually not as close to me. So if we can switch these tyres on nice and quick, we can be in this race. We've got a little extra turn of front wing, so we'll have a little bit more front end on these tyres. Unlike in Bahrain, where we felt like I had no front end on these tyres, now I'm going to have a little bit more front end, and also it's going to counteract for rear tyres. So this should work. Now we've got to try and get these tyres to work. We're in the race, so let's try and close up this gap and try and make something happen here. Oh, yellow flag. Something's happened in this area, and it's Alonso. Alonso slowing down in the McLaren. That's very unfortunate for him. Something not quite right with his car, but that's going to give me a position for free. And there you go, he's out of the race. Confirmation, Alonso out. A technical problem on the car, no smoke, so it must be maybe something with the engine, electronic or something. Either way, let's try and close this gap to Sainz. Now we was hunting him down on the in lap. Now we've got to try and hunt him down on track with these fresh tyres. We're up to P4 in this race though. If we finish here, I'd be very happy, but I could smell a podium. So I want to try and get it. Let's go. There you go. Fast lap of the Grand Prix. Inside of second with Sainz there. Didn't have DRS, but still strong pace. Hopefully we can get within DRS this lap. Have a strong lap, middle sector and everything, and try and put it all together and really get within range of Carlos. Okay, am I within range of DRS? Yes, I am. We've made it just about. I'm having to push really hard here and work for this, but we are within range, so we're going to really close out this gap now with some DRS help. There we go, get it also down for the hairpin. Right, let's try and have a strong final corner here. Another run on the straight maybe. There it is. DRS on Sainz, can we get it? Here we go. Another fast lap of the race. Slipstream engaged, pull to the inside. A little bit of wall bang in there, down the inside though, we make it work. And we are through for a podium position and into P3 in the Chinese Grand Prix. Raikkonen's just there. Can we catch him up? We are catching Hulkenberg as well out front, so this isn't over just yet. We need to keep our head down now and keep our tyres in shape. Strong pace still in the 1 minute 31s. If we keep this pace up, we are going to catch Kimi, I think. Gap down to 1.3, another 31.9. If I keep this pace going, we're right in the money here. I'm just hoping Kimi keeps catching Hulkenberg and Hulkenberg keeps falling into the clutches of Raikkonen. We noticed in the last thing the Renault's kind of dropped off a little bit halfway through once the tyre wear kicked in, and I'm hoping for more of the same. Gap now 1 second, another 31.9. I am super consistent at the minute on my tyres. Pace is uber consistent. If I keep this going and stay in these 31s, this is race winning pace, so let's keep it up. I've now run out of rich mix, so if we're going to try and catch Kimi, it's got to be on track. Gap stayed at 1 second there, but that was another 31.9, so Kimi more than anything has just responded a little bit and picked up the pace in his own right. But if we keep this up, we should be okay. Hulkenberg is starting to really fall into the clutches now of the Ferrari, so if they battle, we're going to be right there. Apparently Verstappen has car issues, and there was a yellow flag just behind, so I'm not sure what's happened there. Sainz has dropped off now, he can't keep up with the pace, and it seems like Hulkenberg's got the same issue. So like I mentioned, the Renault's kind of dropping off halfway through. That's my first track extend of the race. Yellow flag on the back straight, gap up to 1.4 now as Raikkonen's got within DRS of Hulkenberg, but that's not a problem. I just need to start battling, and we'll be there to strike while the iron's hot.
Okay, some information on Perez. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Now Perez slowing down. So Verstappen's had a problem, Alonso's retired, and now Perez is having issues. You can definitely tell that reliability regulations come into play because people are already struggling with their cars and components. Vettel had a penalty in the first race of the season as well. Hamilton had a penalty today, I think. Oh, actually, no, sorry, I think someone else, I think Vettel might have had a penalty again today, I'm not really sure. But we got promoted on the grid by our position, so there's obviously issues going on with reliability. Meanwhile, Raikkonen and Hulkenberg now really starting to hold themselves up. We've, last lap was a 132, and this lap is looking like another 132-ish. But having said that, the pace is still very consistent, and if we keep this going, then we're always going to be in the mix. I'm being patient here because I know my chance will come. I'm not rushing into it. Then again, also, I am kind of on the limit. I could go faster, but then I'm risking overheating my tyres. And to be honest, I'd rather finish P3 than have overheated tyres, because then I'm going to finish, 5th or 6th. So I'm just being patient here. I need Raikkonen to really commit to making an overtake on Hulkenberg. Okay, this could be the one. Raikkonen's very close this lap. I think he's going to try and go for it into the hairpin. He switches to the inside this time. Hulkenberg locks up, and Raikkonen makes the move, but Hulkenberg will have DRS on Kimi now, so they're going to kind of switch around. But I've got DRS on Hulkenberg, there we go. Kept it nice and tidy through the final corner. Hulkenberg pulls away a little bit. But let's try and stay with these guys now, let's not lose DRS or contact. And the three of us are going to bunch up here. Hopefully on the back straight I can make something happen. Trying very hard to stay with the pace here. Raikkonen has picked up the pace a bit, as has Hulkenberg. Onto the back straight. We are going to be within DRS. I don't want to lose the toe though. Hulkenberg is going to get a lovely slipstream from Raikkonen. Absolutely perfect range to maximise the straight line speed. So we need to stay close here. On the brakes, but that's fine. I can pull that one back. That's not a problem. But I need Hulkenberg to now make a move on Kimi here. Okay, this time we're a little bit closer to Hulkenberg. We're going to get a nice little bit of slipstream. And he's a little bit closer to Raikkonen as well. This is good for us. This time getting it slowed down beautifully at the hairpin. 2 laps to go now. Next time we cross the line, it's starting to get to crunch time here. We're going to have to start making something happen. Nice run through the final corner. We're actually going to have a Hulkenberg here, I think. Personal best. We're going to pull to the inside on Nico. Yes, there it is, down the inside. Hulkenberg back underneath, a little bit of contact. And we've both gone for a spin. I'm going to have to go for the grass. Hulkenberg spun it. Don't know what happened there with Hulkenberg. I feel like he tried a bit too hard to go back underneath me there. But that's bought Raikkonen the crucial time to pull away. I'm going to try and go for it here. And try and close that gap. 2.8 seconds with 1.5 laps to go. Looks like a steep hill to climb. I want to give it a go. Damn, Raikkonen's really picked up the pace. You can see I'm 2.5 tenths up on my personal best, but Raikkonen's going even faster than me. Sainz as well going fast behind, so this might be all she wrote, to be honest with you. I'm just going to try and bring this one home. Still, second place from P13 on the grid. There was no strategy masterstroke. It was all done on track because we had to commit to the one stop and everyone started on soft compound tyres. So, you know what, that is one of my better races in this entire career mode. If not, it's probably the best. It's right up there. Management, temperature management, tyre wear management, strategy management, overtakes, all of it. And Raikkonen with the fast lap right at the end. Look at that. He wins at China. We come home P2, and I will take that. That's a great result. And my first podium of the season here in Season 5. A great race.
A great win then for the Maranello team today. And Anthony Davidson, give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs. And that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy and to stay out of trouble.
So here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
Right, so looking at the final race results, Raikkonen wins for Ferrari at Shanghai. We come home P2 and Carlos Sainz wraps up the podium. Nico Hülkenberg P4 after leading most of the race. Daniel Ricciardo P5, Charles Leclerc on the 2-stop P6, and then we got Ocon, Perez, my teammate Lewis Hamilton P9, and Marcus Ericsson running off the top 10. Sebastian Vettel there in P12, not scoring any points. And further down the order we have Alonso retiring, Verstappen with car issues, and generally a bit of an up and down race with some of those guys. But in terms of the driver standings, we jump all the way up to P6 after scoring our first podium of the season. Raikkonen takes the lead in the championship by quite some way, by 13 points over Lewis Hamilton, and Sainz gets himself up into P3, overtaking Sebastian Vettel. And then in terms of the constructors, we currently remain in second place. Obviously Ferrari scored a couple more points than us this race, so the gap stays as it is, 24 points adrift. Renault jumping up into third place, overtaking Sauber in this race. But all in all, a very good race today at China, a very enjoyable one of the most enjoyable ones in a little while, and overall I'm very satisfied with the performance. I wish I could have won that one though. I definitely think it was possible if Hülkenberg hadn't taken me out. But all in all, a great race, and we now move into the laptop.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret? It was more like Dodgems than Formula 1 today, wasn't it? Great! Well, that's everything.
Right, so here we are then on the laptop. Now, it's been a little while, but I think it's time we selected a new rival besides our teammate. And let's have a look at the options we have. Right, so we've got Leclerc or Verstappen. Now, Leclerc's a tricky one, but you know what? Considering it's Baku, Spain, Monaco, then again, Baku, Spain, it's tricky couple of circuits. I'm actually going to go with Verstappen. I'm going to play it safe and try and win the rivalry, because if there's a better, better selection of tracks like Austria, Full Ricard, Canada, then yeah, I'd go for Leclerc. But Spain's tricky for tire temperatures. Baku, I'm not very good at. And then Monaco's a tire temperature hell. So we'll go with Verstappen for that one. And now we're going to move into the upgrades. Now, once again, we're going to continue on with the theme we've been doing lately, and it's in terms of improving the reliability of the car. So we did the control electronics last time. Now we're going to go for another one. Now, gearbox is important because the gearbox is wearing out, so we're going to get that one on the car, I think, as the next one. That should arrive in Azerbaijan. And then after that, we're looking to pretty much max out all the level 1s. So we've got energy store, MGUH. Energy store, to be fair, can kind of wait. That's not important. I'd rather do ICE first. That's very important. So we're going to try and work towards the ICE next, and then we'll go towards the MGUH. But all in all, guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Career Mode. If you did enjoy it, then please do drop a like on the video. Also, do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content and turn notifications to not miss a single upload from me. Finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you on my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.